Good morning, everyone. Oh, here comes the big lick bowl. So, I held off on putting straw out there over here for the piggies because I wanted them to move back into the chicken coop. I can close that up in the winter time, and it's a log chicken coop too. So, I just saw that, because there's plenty of straw, good straw still in there, they can build their nest and stuff, right? Also, keep stuff out in the wintertime. Nothing gets in there. Rip the chickens, they start roosting in there. So I got one in there. I guess they were both in. Good going, good going. Great. Then I'll get along with just one bale of straw for the rest of our winter for them. Wonderful. Also, one would think, well, once they're in there, aren't they just going to pee and poop everywhere? Well, they don't, actually. They pick one spot, which is very easy for me to clean out every few days. And put a little sawdust over top. Yeah, you'd be amazed at how clean pigs actually are when they can live in the appropriate environment for them, right? Yeah? And pigs they don't run away or whatever, you know. So, they stick around. Okay, you. Oh, I need to get that bag. Something I shouldn't be doing, lifting 50 pounds, but what are you going to do? There. I'll suffer for it later. Oh, I've got to finish this up first, though. Said, I'm very conscientious here to make sure that we don't suddenly have old feed at the bottom of a barrel, because you just poured another one on top. Always finish up first. There. Yeah, like the piggies. Yes, I was kind of hoping they would find their way. Ooh. Oh, you're going to get the rib fresh still. Okay. Just making sure I know where the bowl is. I know you're getting a little extra too. It's winter time. I want a little extra too. Oh, I'm the oldest one. I got fed last. Huh? You know why that is? Huh? Because you are the most patient one. Yes. Oh, but you know what? That looks so good and fresh. Yes, you're getting the best this morning. Look at that. Woo! Looks like this bag's got a little extra molasses in it too. Nice. Okay, good bag of feed. Yes, we changed. We're getting it somewhere else now. It's 14%. Which again, for our horses, to me, that means I can feed them a little less. So the bag lasts longer. cheaper, about $5. And then where we got it before, and it's good stuff, you can tell. You immediately can tell the difference. I could. So why didn't we do that before? Well, one of those things. You learn as you go, right? Yes. Rather than just complaining about paying almost $19 a bag of feed, someplace where I'm going, man, I even got moldy bags from them. I mean, and found it for $14 a bag. Much better, this, that. So we did our research. Went, checked things out. And there you go. So rather than complain and keep supporting an outfit, have to say, yeah, you're still good for certain things, but not that. Yeah. Go and look somewhere else. It's available here. You're not restricted. Right? We were not. So good. Super. Right? That's how we deal with things here. Chickens. Look, they're all going. I know you got that nice fresh corn. That's the other thing too. We're getting our corn in the same place, and right there immediately again the difference, right? Yeah. So our chicken's happy again with the corn, and they're coming around, sticking around. Come on, girl, boy. Got one rooster chasing the other one off. Let's give him a little off to the side. Now, there's probably some going to be left over, and I'll have to just wait, right? But we have a heart for animals here, so be it. Watching out for everyone we can. What's next? Oh, you threw your bowl out again. That's nice. Yes. Likes to throw his bowls around. When he's done, let me know. Everybody's eating, and we had a light frost last night, and just a light frost. It wasn't quite below freezing or anything, so, but we did have a light frost. So this is the time where I'm going to start giving them a little hay outside. They are definitely not going to be finding enough out there anymore. Or, as I said, right? Okay, how fat does a horse have to be? Right? Yes? So if suddenly there were no one here taking care of them, they would survive. You know, they wouldn't stay as well fed, but they would make it just fine. And what I've noticed always, they lose a little bit over the winter here on weight too, okay? And then when spring comes around, summer, they're gaining that weight again. Right? And we don't feed them no hay during spring, summer, and part of the fall. During part of the spring, summer, and part of the fall. So they find plenty out there. It's a big old place, and they put the weight on, right? And they get about a cup of feed in the summertime. Because they don't really need it, but it brings them home. Yes. So, but it is about time just to, right? Because it's a herd, and if I don't make sure that when they're leaving here in the wintertime, if they go for their walk this snap, especially right now, if I don't put a little something out, so they already have something, then they're going to wander way farther, right? Yes? Yeah, that's a thing they do, right? You go, you look for the food. Yes. So we're going to put a little bit out there just to make sure they're sticking around. These are going to go beautiful. Also, I want to make sure I don't put too much out there to begin with, because I need to know how much do they actually need. Right? Not what I think, oh, I got to put a whole bunch out there so that they have to fit. It's not that. They get fed that twice a day. So the one thing that I noticed in the first few years, right, that's not knowing really, is that a lot of hay got wasted out there. Right? They eat and then that's too hard to pick up now off the ground. I don't want to, and they were good. So they eat so much of it, and then they're good, and they're going to go on. Bo, even now, our older one, will probably not touch that hay out there. He wants the fresh stuff. Okay, that's it. Until really there isn't anything much more for him to easily get to, then, and he'll eat the hay in the evening. But as soon as he goes out, he'll probably pass up that hay. It's his way. That's what he likes. Ozzy, don't mess with the pig in there. I like that food too. So start out with a smaller amount, right, and make sure they eat it all. Right? No waste. You see, there's no waste. The hay will last a lot longer. We don't have to get quite as much. Right? Yes. Good boy. My only boy now. Okay, so there it is that. I'm not starting with the alfalfa yet because there's still green grass out there. Again, right? Yes. Introduce that slowly. We'll have deep winter here too, right? Then we're going to need all that stuff. Yes. Okay. To not overindulge, per se. Because a lot of it just goes to waste, right? Know your animals, right? Yes. Right? Yeah. Oh, them stickers are still all over. Okay, let's go close up the feed here. Oh wait, pull that in. Another thing too, we have a lot of bags here, empty bags from a lot. We have bags here, and I reuse those again. Guess for what? Garbage bags. Work great. They don't rip, and you get quite a bit of stuff in them, so they're being reused, right? Yeah, we have some garbage bags always come in the house somehow again, but I don't ever have to worry about running out because I save them all. And I use them for all kinds of different things. Are you ready? Let me get so because I have to pick with piggies. Get that bowl in. I'm gonna stick this bowl over in a chicken coop as well. Come over here. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Come on. Come on, we're gonna let the boy out. See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya. Okay. Close the other side of it. Are you done? Oh, you are. There's hay out there now. Come on. Go that way. That's it. There's hay out there. Go on. Go on. It all went for the corn the chickens didn't eat first. Of course. It's just a little bit A little bit of corn I don't have to worry about, these guys. But again, it is getting to be deer season hunting. Deer hunting season. There. And easy boy. Oh, good. You made it. And the hunters put deer corn out, which, oh, I got one more. Which is fine. I can't, you have to kind of just go with it. I'm just hoping that, especially Maverick doesn't get a hold of a whole lot. So far we only had one kind of mild colic incident here. I don't know how mild it was. He was rolling in there. But he got over it just fine, so. What do you do when, as a human being, you come to a place like this, where you've got to live with people miles and miles apart, yet doing their thing as well, which one of them is hunting, and doing it their way. I can go and tell them what to do, as long as it is legal, and they're doing it at the right time. I tell you what, we wouldn't deal well with poachers here. Anyway. And again, the reason for that is that the animals need to have their time to birth and this and that. I don't know what else. And you don't just go and kill a doe of a baby deer, right? So there's a reason why we have certain times of the year where you hunt and where you don't hunt. This isn't a restriction of your freedom. This is logical sense, right? Yes? All right. So, and if nobody were to hunt around here, it would be very difficult for us to grow anything. Yeah, so, anywho, so there is that. Besides, deer meat is really good meat. Yeah. So, keep things right under perspective when it comes to things like that. Yet, I've got to kind of, okay, let's just hope, right? And you got kind of just go with it. Right? Yeah. That's what you do rather than start a fight with someone. Which, it's come close here, and I said, no, gotta go and talk to the people, fix things again, in a way. Right? Yes. Yeah, there's a balance. All you can do is keep the balance without, yes, just saying, well. And it's not on our land. So, the horses went. You see the give and take here? Yeah. They were okay with that. I mean, and in all the years here, and I'm saying this, I'm not going to say it. Not going to say it. Yeah. Oh, superstitious. I don't know. Just, it's good. It's good. It's important to have a good relationship with your neighbors. Doesn't mean you have to be friends with everyone. Doesn't mean you have to accept everything they do. They're doing it on where they're at, right? Yeah. It's always, as long as it doesn't involve a child. Right. Okay? Yeah, well then I'll step in. Okay, where you are, or what you're doing. So, what I wanted to just briefly, okay, talk about today is that I came across something. I knew it happened, but I didn't know it was happening to that extent. And that is people who are transgenders and who committed to that type of lifestyle and desires that they have and went through all the surgeries, this and that they detransition back to their original self. And it was first of all, when as a person like me who, okay, not getting it. Why do you feel that way? And how did you get to that point? Yeah, because not everybody with childhood traumas, this and that, suddenly feels like they want to be a different gender. Right? So there's a little more going on, and I've talked about that in the videos on how your spiritual freedom in the principles of love has been taken. Yeah, most likely by another spirit. And what is that spirit? When it comes down to it, in the lives of either a man or a woman. That suddenly, that strong desire of wanting to be something that you're originally not happens. Then trauma always, the confusion that traumas create in a person. And then even when you go for help, it isn't really, the help's not really there when it comes to that in many ways, because it's just looked at as a psychological problem rather than also a spiritual problem the person is trying to work through. And even when they realize that, sometimes the help that they're getting back is not about that. It's about, okay, let's stick. So you want to be something different or you don't? Well, but I want to talk about, well, do you want to be? Right? And then, well, this is the solution to it. The surgeries, the this and that, the hormone changes, and that is it. You make way more money as a doctor, as a nurse, as whatever you're advocating out there, when you actually get to do what you want to do, rather than just talk to someone per se, right? Yes? And not prescribe, and not do the surgery. That's not really going to, right? Yeah. Well, yeah, people make money out there just talking or letting others talk to them. Yes? Still. Just depends on how much money you're looking at. Yes. So listening to one channel where there is a transgender doing the channel, and then there was another one who's detransitioning, and the non-support that they have. Number one, from the community that they were just in, because now they're traitors. Oh, why are you doing this? It's like, wow, this is what this is about? That's very sad. So the support is all there when, oh, I don't want to be a girl anymore. I want to be a boy. I don't want to be a boy anymore. I want to be a girl. Then the support is all there. Oh, again, misery loves company. But when, okay, you know what? I realize now, and when you hear the stories on how every one of them that I listened to, and there's a lot of them out there, was kind of pushed into it. Of course, in the end, it was still the consent. Okay, I'm talking adults, not children. Given, but clearly, through their stories, you hear on how, number one, they didn't get all the facts, especially when it came to the physical procedures and what that entails. And the concern over, yeah, we can, so you don't want to start with the lowest dose? Well, we can give you the highest one without even considering these young people in their teens. 18, that's still a teen. 19, that's still a teen. Early 20s, those are young adults. But what do they know? And on how weren't given the whole layout. Or how about you talk to some first that happened to? Anyway, and what they're going through. As adults, young adults, I can't imagine, having heard all this now, on how a parent would want to do that to their own child without, even though, okay, however they want to present it, that it isn't them, it's the child. That's a lie. That's a flat out lie. And I've seen that through watching other videos as well, where children were groomed by their parents for that. Some even flat out said, no, I'm not a girl. I am a boy. And is originally a boy, was born as a boy. And on how the parents transitioned them, made them, forced them. That's right. But the reason I'm mentioning all this, after having seen all that, my heart went out to these people. I thought, what kind of spiritual trauma are you in to wanting to be something you're just not? And the desires that are there again is, where are they truly coming from? And then, right, when as they get older, right, certain things happen, and they're going, I gotta get back to my original. On what terrifying path that becomes for them as well. And then they're suddenly standing there all by themselves. There's nobody there. And thank God now there are, again, here's the internet, and you can find people who are in the same position as you, right? Yes. But what about the rest of us? I know. We're fighting all kinds of things out there when it comes to that transgender stuff, that as parents, we're not happy. In general, as people, we're not happy with it, right? Because what is the next thing we have to accept, right? Basically. So my heart went out to all of them. Doesn't matter that transgenders keep going, the ones that want to detransition. I don't understand the parents who are doing this to their children. I still don't. I mean, that's probably now I have to say, whoa, what's wrong with these parents? This one lady, she said, parenting, you should get a license. Yeah, sounds good to me. It's getting to that point. Parents don't know how to be proper parents anymore to their children. Really? Yeah. Yeah. And it's happening on a much greater scale than we know or think it is happening. So, but my heart went out. I'm going, oh my God, It's just the emotional, the psychological pain that starts all this for one reason or another. And then the physical aspects of it. It's like, I'm listening to this and going, why would you want to do this to yourself? Then as I studied a little more, listened more, they're not being told. They're not being told. It's all made. The doctors, the nurse, they won't tell them, a lot of them, that this is what you're going to go through. This is what's going to happen. Right? And some surgeries that they're doing could even result in death, which has resulted in death. And yet, right? Yes. But the information, enough for young people. Do young people listen in a way? But they would listen, wouldn't they? To a doctor? Or are the doctors and the nurses out there who are all for this not willing to take responsibility for these young lives that suddenly are in their hands to say, yes, I know you want to do this. Okay. I see the strong urge from, okay, where did you get that? Again, that's another thing too. On a story that I heard, also listened to, where online someone was just going through puberty, this, that, and kind of had a fallout with their friends, this so kind of alone, going looking up thing, got into a group, where then suddenly that stuff comes up and says, well, you know what, you may be young, impressionable mind, growing out of childhood into adulthood, and being brainwashed into something that now they know, years later, I got brainwashed into that. Groomed into that. That wasn't me. I knew. Now I know that. But oftentimes, the physical damage then, by the time the realization comes, is done. Already been done. Young people before the age of 30. And their bodies are destroyed because of that. I find this so sad. I wanted to just go and say, oh my gosh, my heart just goes out to you guys. I understand better on how this happens. In a way, the root problem still is not being addressed, which is the reason you feel this way. The reason, but again, there were other aspects of they were groomed into it by others. They found the circle of friends, no different than with gangs, is it? Yes. Okay, made my point right there. So, not every transgender out there is for the lap dances and this and that, or are in these weird venues where, you know, you heard other ones talk about and how nasty it really is behind the curtain and this and that, or that they are for in every one of these videos with a transgender that's still a transgender, still, or the one detransitioning, they're both very clearly stated, no. Children, no, no, no. No. And, that's not acceptable. They don't know no. And a parent saying, my child is wrong. It's wrong, it's a lie, it's not true. A child will be, I said that before in another video on how impressionable even a child is when it comes to the parents, especially at certain ages. Then here are they're teenagers and they're still as impressionable to the outside world now, right? Yes? And just go for, oh, that must be it. Bad guidance. That's what I call bad, wicked guidance to our children and young adults, teenagers. So, it gave me a different look into the transgender community. And some things I'm not there, right? I wish I could talk to every one of them, right? Say, okay, let's see what's going on with you, really, right? But I'm not. But I also feel that hating something or pointing the finger at something or degrading something, I'm not there with, never really been faced with, okay, is not right either. And that this one transgender who wanted to be a woman, now is a man again, kind of, okay? But, and amazing to me on how the transition back, whoa, well, so you look like a woman, really, but now you look like a man again, and how quickly that happens in a way. Right? But the surgeries, that's done. What are you going to do? Do it again? To fix you up again as what you were? Oh my God, I can't. Dear me, it's like, that's just, as I said, my heart just went out and I went, oh my God. And again, every time, the lack of advice and knowledge given to them on what actually happens when they do these surgeries. So I'd like to be someone out there that, no, what you're doing, regardless, it doesn't make sense. Okay? It doesn't fit with the scientific facts of a woman and a man. It just doesn't. To want to change you to something different. I have to stand by that, right? Yes? Right? So, but I can't stop you. And I can't stop you either. But, you know what? I want to pray for that community. I want to pray for that community. I'm going to support them for, this one, back to being a boy. He is now out there, right? And hated. He's hated for that. By his own community, by others, saying, especially by the bigger, larger community, being called a traitor, but he is putting out, he read up on it enough. He scientifically, he knows more, I bet, than any other transgender out there, just about. He probably knows more than the doctors, obviously, because he is warning them, saying, you want to do this, then be properly informed before you do that. Know what you're going to go through. Know what could go wrong. And what you will give up, regardless, though you think it's going to be better. I admire that. I admire that, and there's others out there as well who are doing the same thing, who are have detransitioned or detransitioning to make the ones aware who are now, many of them, just groomed into that, to have them be aware. Watch out who you suddenly become a slave to, and then just do their bidding. Yeah? Yes? So, my prayers, I learned a lot in the last 3 days. Learned a lot about all that. 3 days, right? Just 3 days, and okay. That other video I made, still, as I said, there's these other ones out there. Okay? But they're not all like that. Okay? Yes? Yeah. There. Have we got that? Right. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share this morning. I hope that every one of you out there who's going through all this will find back to their original self, right? And be happy within the body that you were born as, right? That doesn't mean you have to be manly all the time. All I can tell you is, as a man or a woman, it's a good thing to know how to split wood, how to cook, how to know how to maybe change a tire or the oil on your car, right? Which, all right, I was always really lazy about stuff like that. I always found me a guy to do it. Well, all right then, I had to cook for them. So, and I don't see why one can't. If one wants to almost like, okay, I can't quite see that for myself. On how, I want to be a man for a day. And I'm going, oh, heck no. I never wanted that. That's a domain that, in a way, again, spiritually my makeup is different from a man too. I'm a woman. My soul, even though we're all souls, and that's kind of, we share that all in common, right? The same place we came from, it's still, my soul has a way greater feminine aspect than it does a masculine. But I've learned also that through spirit, that in every man there is a feminine aspect. How else would you otherwise understand your wife or your daughters or your mom or your grandma? You wouldn't be able to have a proper relationship, right? If that was all just severed and neither nor the other would understand somewhat what the other one's going through, because physically we are completely different in many ways. And then, as a woman, we also have some masculine traits. Right? Well, how would you get all the work done otherwise when the man isn't around anymore? Passes away earlier, this or that. Same opposite. How would you care for your children as a man if you didn't have some of that motherly love that you were also given from your mother, wouldn't have within you naturally? Right? You see? Yeah. So, something to consider, right? And rather than, I feel just feminine, I want to be a girl, and let that take over, and I say, hey, wait a second. I know I've got the part of that is in me, is that way. Huh? But that's not the main part of me. And acknowledge that. And then, rather than make these horrific changes, right, to something you're not, explore what you do enjoy on the feminine side, right? Yes? Just saying, as a man though, or vice versa, as a woman, you do the same. Anywho, one could say more to it, and sure, people have, well, but this, and that. Well, you have your, well, but that, and this, and okay, so you have that out there. I just listened to numerous videos, and it changed my, not necessarily view of the destruction of it to themselves and around, to children especially, but my perspective on how does this happen? Where does this come from? And what isn't addressed to bring clarity to certain feelings we have as a man or as a woman. And I feel the best that I can do, right? Have that goodwill towards, okay, I'm going to pray for all of you out there. Send angels to guide you, right, to your original self. And on how that's going to, how that will make, it will make a better change. It will make a good change in your life. I believe that. I have that kind of power. But again, it has to be done with a proper heart to mind. Right? Yes? Anywho, so there it is. We learn. We grow spiritually. Right? And that's a good time. I'm grateful to these people. They made these videos, that they're not scared to make them. Even though, that's it. Wow. Hated by your own community now. That's very sad. For telling the truth. All right. That's it. Got to get going here. God's love and blessings always. I will talk to you another time.